Keep clapping as we welcome our next storyteller, Jamie Brickhouse.
What I love about sex, besides the act itself, is that it's life-affirming, invigorating, makes you feel wanted, desired, validated. And I discovered at a tender age, I need a lot of validation. So, I guess it was 2002, and I find myself in a dark back room of a bar, getting validated. I was at the Cock. It's a poultry-themed gay bar. And anyway, normally in those situations, it's anonymous and you just, have your fun and keep moving. But I'm with this tall, lean, lanky guy, and we seem to really be connecting, if you know what I mean. And so we decide to make it legit, and we take it to the front of the bar. And we actually introduce ourselves. And his name is John, and he's just moved to town, and then we decide to take it private. So I go uptown with him to his apartment, where he validates me some more. So the next morning, as he's making coffee, I'm looking at his bookshelves, and they're groaning with titles like Homosexuality in the U.S. Catholic Church, and The Case for Clerical Celibacy, and the Vatican and homosexuality. And when he hands me my coffee, I say, judging from your bookshelf, I would say either you're a lapsed Catholic or a priest. Actually, I'm both, he says. Well, if I'd known that last night, I would have called you Father John. He laughs uncomfortably, and he tells me that he's been a priest for 14 years. But he's just recently left the priesthood to figure things out. But he tells me that entire time, he had been celibate. But celibacy screwed up my life, he says. I said, well, I've been promiscuous for most of my life, and promiscuity is not without its complications. But he also explains that ever since he was a little boy, he wanted to be a priest. And he wanted to channel all his love and compassion for the church, which I think is kind of sweet. We don't fall in love, but we fall in lust, and we have a little fling the rest of the summer, and then he disappears. And after I haven't heard from him for a few weeks, he calls me and, hi, Jamie, it's John, and I'm sorry I haven't been in touch, but I have the clap, gonorrhea. Ah, that explains the silence. Nothing kills a beautiful thing like an STD. Yeah, I thought I would tell you, and I was just wondering if maybe you had noticed anything, maybe when we got together. No, I haven't noticed anything. I mean, I've never had it before, so I'm not sure what to look for, but I'll go to my doctor and get tested. So a couple of days after I visit my doctor, I'm at my office reading a press release, and my doctor calls me, Jamie, I have good news and bad news. The good news, you don't have gonorrhea. The bad news, you're HIV positive. And I just looked down at the press release I had been reading, and my vision had completely blurred, and the words on the page had coagulated into a black cloud. You have to understand, I came of age sexually when AIDS was a death sentence. It was the worst thing that could happen. And over the years, after I had escaped a few close calls, I don't know, somehow in the back of my mind, I thought I was invincible. I thought I had been awarded a free pass. And by the way, that thing about good news and bad news, I think they should be of equal weight. Like, the good news is you don't have high cholesterol. The bad news, your blood pressure is through the roof. So even though this was 2002 when the medication was already good, I was terrified. So I left the office early, and I headed straight to my local gay bar, where I downed 2 gin martinis in quick succession on an empty stomach. And I felt someone staring at me. And I turned around, and the man behind me asked me what was wrong. And the dam just burst. In a flood of tears, I told this nameless stranger that I was HIV positive, that my life was over, that no one would want to have sex with me again. He said that wasn't true. And to prove it, he took me around the corner to a gay porno sex store and had sex with me. It was then that I truly understood what Blanche Dubois means about always depending upon the kindness of strangers. So I called Father John later that week, and I told him the news. And I wasn't worried about him because we'd always had safe sex. And he says, wow, I'm sorry. Wow, that's a tough break. He couldn't get off the phone fast enough. So much for all that love and compassion. That award goes to that stranger at the bar. And if he's here tonight, I couldn't tell you, because I don't know if he looked like Ryan Gosling or Steve Buscemi. That's how drunk and in a fog I was. But I would like to thank him, because he did for me what Father John wasn't able to do. By having sex with me, he told me I was going to be okay. He validated me. Thank you.